Well, hello out there, internet land and Facebook family. This is Father Andrew from the Darke County Anglican Church, and this is another episode, or part 10 of a little bit of Bible study. And so a little bit of Bible study, daily my devotions invite me to read 3 texts from Scripture in the morning, 3 texts from Scripture in the evening. And so I was just kind of grabbing low-hanging fruit on this text or that to say, just to offer a little bit of Bible study to hopefully enrich everybody's day. So this week, the Bible studies have been out of the book of 1 Samuel. Now, I'm a huge fan of 1 Samuel because I have a son named Samuel. And so the goings-on of the great prophet Samuel are always exciting to me just because they connect me back to my household. But the story of the birth of Samuel is a little bit fraught. How is it fraught? Samuel was born to a mom who was barren or unable to have children. And in biblical times, being barren was something that came with a lot of shame, and it was very embarrassing and just very hard on the woman who was barren. And so we're going to see here how that plays out for the mother of Samuel, who starts out barren, but then is given by God a child who she names Samuel. So we're going to look at the first part today. We're in chapter 1 of the first book of Samuel, and we're in verse 4. Whenever Elkanah offered a sacrifice, he always gave portions of the meat to his wife Peninnah and to each of her sons and daughters. But he gave a double portion to Hannah, for he loved her, even though the Lord had kept her from conceiving. Okay, so the first thing we run into is a plural marriage, that Elkanah has 2 wives. Now, some people might read about plural marriage in the Old Testament and think, oh my gosh, the Bible is talking about plural marriage because it thinks we should have plural marriage. That's not why the Bible is talking about plural marriage. The Bible is talking about plural marriage because it happened in ancient times and it was not good. So in this case, we see that Elkanah gave portions of meat to be given in sacrifice to his wife who is having children and her sons and daughters, but a double portion to Hannah. Now, Hannah's the hero of the story, so we don't mind seeing her get a double portion, but also those of us who are siblings are 100% aware if she's getting a double portion, this is going to lead to jealousies. For he loved her even though the Lord had kept her from conceiving. Verse 6, her rival, the other wife, would taunt her severely just to provoke her because the Lord had kept Hannah from conceiving. So the other wife, who knows that Hannah is more loved, has this chip that she can use to make Hannah's life miserable, to mock her for being barren. Year after year, Hannah, she went up to the house of the Lord. Her rival taunted her in this way. Hannah would weep and would not eat. Now everybody's getting a piece of meat to take to worship God in the temple. Because what you would do is you would take your meat, you would sacrifice it to God. A portion would be kept to be eaten by the priests, and then you would eat a portion alongside the priest representing God. So you would eat your portion of meat with a representative of God, as though you were eating with God, as though you were back in the Garden of Eden, eating with God. Some of you might be already hearing in this, like, oh my gosh, this is like an Anglican church service, or a Lutheran church service, or a Catholic or an Orthodox church service, that we go and we eat with God and eat of God, depending what your view of real presence is. But we see here early on, 1,500 years before Jesus Christ, that eating with God in the temple was a normal part of the life of worship life. All right, so year after year, she went up to the Lord's house. Her rival taunted her in this. Anna would weep and not eat. Hannah, why are you crying? Her husband would ask. Why won't you eat? Why are you troubled? Am I not better than 10 sons? So he's saying, look, I know it stinks not to have kids, but isn't my love so wonderful? And really the truth is, our marriages provide for us so many things, but our relationship to God is our most important relationship. And so there are areas where, we might put weight on our marriages that it's not necessarily ready to carry, because the weight is supposed to go on Christ in our relationship to him. But Elkanah, wanting to comfort his wife, why are you troubled? Am I not better than 10 sons, right? Isn't my love better? On one occasion, Hannah got up and ate and drank at Shiloh, or got up after they ate and drank at Shiloh. Remember, she's still not eating. The priest Eli was sitting on a chair by the doorpost of the Lord's temple. Deeply hurt, Hannah prayed to the Lord and wept with many tears. So Hannah obviously still feeling, after years, still feeling the pain and is deeply hurt. Making a vow, she pleaded, Lord of armies, or Lord of hosts, if you will take notice of your servant's affliction, remember and not forget me, give your servants a son. I will give the Lord all the days of his life. His hair will never be cut. So she promises to God, Lord, if you give me a son, I won't even keep the son. I will give it back to you as a vow. And so we see in this Hannah's great desire for a child, because she's saying, I won't even keep the child. I will share that child with God. I will give that child to God. Look, we're going to see, as we follow this story a little bit, Hannah having children and God responding. So know that I'm not cutting us off here to say like, oh, well, you have to tune in next week to see what happens. Samuel will be born and will play a very special role. But some of the things to be mindful of here that I think we need to pause and just take a note of, just say, God does not like plural marriage. His Bible even mocks plural marriage, or at least shows us the holes in plural marriage. The second is, eating as part of worship is an important thing in the Old Testament, and is an important part of the New Testament. And the third part is, let's be careful what weight we ask our marriages to carry, making sure they carry the marriage they carry the weight that they're supposed to carry, because they are supposed to carry important weight. But also to remember that our relationship with Christ should also carry important weight. Well, that's all I have for us today. I guess today is a little bit of a short one, but I hope that God is richly blessing your day, and I hope to talk to all of you soon. So long.